What's up, Wednesday? Guys, the media is doing worse at their job than ever, and it's time to talk about it. So, after the Charlie Kirk assassination, there was a lot of questions, honestly, but really one thing that kind of like stood out the rest in the aftermath was like, can we be united as a country? Can we come together, like, dismiss all political labels, or um, it's like division, and just come together as a country and just like stop all this hate that's really been happening. And I think from all the videos I've seen, I've heard JD Vance say, and just a lot of more and Erica Kirk say, and just lots of people. I think it's important to realize, yes, we can unite, but it's important we know around what and what people we can't unite with. And so I guess the important thing is first to call the people who are like celebrating this brutal murder, right? And it's really, it's gotten to a really, really bad point. Thousands of people on social media, particularly on the left, and pretty much only on the left, saying like, yes, like we defeated fascism, or like this guy was terrible, I hated what he stood for, and essentially like justifying his death by either completely exaggerating what he said or just lying straight up about who he was, his character, things he said, in order to justify him getting killed. And it was just a moment where I was like, what? That's a thing? Like, we're at a point in this country where you could say, I don't agree with you, so you should die? Like, no, absolutely not. This is not what America as a country stands for, especially when it comes to freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and just all those things. Like, no, like, we're allowed to have different views and not hate each other for it. And so seeing that on the internet was really, it was just disheartening, and like, it was just so disrespectful to somebody who was a great leader and invited people to disagree with him to come speak to him. And one person decided, well, no, I can't debate you, so I'm going to shoot you. And it's really, really, like, terrible. And we see other people saying, like, oh, yeah, well, if you support him, you deserve to die in hell. Like, oh, you believe in this or that, you're against basic human rights. It's just, it doesn't have to be this way. And I think it's so important to be able to not look at each other for what we believe, but judge us like individuals and by people's character. When we start generalizing a group of people and then dehumanizing them by calling them, by slandering them, by telling lies about what they said, telling lies about who they are, and saying, oh, they're basically this, then it basically gives grounds for that person to be killed. We saw this with the Trump assassination attempt last year. All of the years, like almost 10 years of calling him a Nazi, Orange Hitler, like all these terrible things, and saying all these lies about him. Not that everything Trump has done has been great, but there's been just a campaign against him unlike any other political figure I've ever seen in American history, really. And so when you call someone that over and over and over again, and a person consumes that media over and over again for that many years, they say, oh, this guy is a Nazi, so therefore I can do this, right? Like, oh, it's good, I'm killing a Nazi, right? And look, it's a tough conversation to be had. It's a hard narrative to say, but a conversation needs to be had if we're going to move forward as a country and like stop this political violence that's been happening. And honestly, the big and it's just like, then when you generalize, say like, oh, well, if you support the Nazi, then you yourself are one. And then when you call 78 million people that, it gets really bad really fast. And you basically like and then you try to justify all of them, And so it's gotten to a really dangerous point. And mainstream media has fed into this. They've kind of seen social media and just be like, well, they're not. And a lot of the major networks, the CBS and NBCs and ABCs of the world, have just completely ignored basic facts. for years, so we should know this, right? But people still tune in. Thousands and 10,000 people have still tuned in, and they still perceive what they report as truth. And like just like yesterday, an ABC reporter, when the text from the shooter to his trans roommate came out, they were like, their first takeaway was, "Oh my gosh, it's so touching to see him saying, 'I want to protect you, my love.'" It's like he's describing how he just killed a man, the weapon, how he's escaping, and that is what you're talking about? Like, it's ridiculous the level they go to. Other people on CNN saying like, "Well, I don't know if people are celebrating on the internet." And if you look on the internet, spend like 2 minutes, you will see at least one person saying this was justified or celebrating it. Like, open your eyes, people. This is just crazy. And I have been distrustful of media for years, really on all sides, but like especially when it comes to the lines about conservatives, and it's just like, I'm not saying that there isn't something that goes the other way. Obviously there is, but I think it's just been like a like combined attack against against us for years, and it's gotten us, yeah, obviously it's gotten to a dangerous level. We've had multiple assassination attempts on our current president, now the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and it's just like, how much longer are we going to excuse violence and even justify it, right? And I think this is where we come back to our ideals as a Christian nation, right? Where we have a moral system and are like, hey, we need to follow a basic moral system, right? And that moral system says, do not steal, do not murder, and just basic things like that. It should be like common sense to people, right? So that way, when someone is murdered, it's like seen as an evil act, like unanimously. And it's not like, oh, well, this killing was good because I don't like what this person said. We can't be united in this country if we say, I hate you because I disagree with this, right? Like, at the end of the day, no one's gonna agree on everything. Like, no two people agree on everything. But difference of opinion can be just that, like disagreements, and like we can have the debates like Charlie was trying to have, or you can say, you know what, you deserve to die because you said this, or you're this name or this label or this whatever because you said this, right? And this dehumanization is just like, it's not healthy. It doesn't lead to anything good, and ultimately it takes away from the debates we could have, and just like, just for so many years, like, or the thing of like the misinformation, disinformation, like, oh, if you say this, even if it's proven to be true later, oh, well, misinformation. This is what happened during the COVID era with the Biden administration when they pressured Facebook. This is later admitted by Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, or of Meta. They're just saying like, hey, like, oh, they're saying this about COVID. If they say like, oh, the COVID vaccine might not be helpful, or masks might not be helpful, you have to take the post down because it's misinformation. What do we learn years later? Hey, a lot of people have had side effects from the vaccine that weren't reported. Hey, masks really didn't work, kind of like they said the first time, but then backtracked. And what could have been truth from real American citizens in like a time of like a great fear and darkness, was just like pushed aside, and like, no, this is what we believe. You have to do this. You have to keep the schools closed. You have to keep wearing masks. You have to do the vaccine. And this is where American rights are taken away, right? Where it's like, hey, but I want to have a choice to do this. Nobody's going to be mandated to do it. It's like, no, you don't. Like, difference of opinion is so important. That's why, like, I'll say the most important diversity is diversity of thought, right? We can't move forward as a nation if we don't have different opinions and talk through them and say, okay, here's what I think and why. And that person says, here's what I think and why. Let's come to a conclusion, like a healthy conclusion, and say like, okay, this is where we can best move forward from this. And this is the best solution for this, right? But Charlie Kirk was an example of what we shouldn't do. We shouldn't say, I hate you because you say this. We shouldn't kill somebody because they say this, right? We should be able to have healthy debate and discussion and decide what are the best solutions for this, right? And Charlie doesn't want to be remembered for what his stance was politically, and really it shouldn't be, right? The most important thing about Charlie Kirk was his faith, and that's what I'm talking about. Not saying that everyone has to be Christian in this country, like take away freedom of religion, no. But I think we need to have, like, we already have a law that bases itself in a moral standard, and now we need to hold people to that moral standard. For far too long, murders have been excused, rioting has been excused, and justified in many cases, and it's really been a perversion of law, and just how, like, okay, we have this moral standard, but if you do it because of this, or if you do it and you look like this, then okay, it's fine. Like, we're not going to hold you to the same standard. And it's not a dangerous precedent, because then people who are actual criminals are going to keep getting away with things that they really shouldn't be. And so that's why, like, when people are mad that the Ten Commandments are getting put up in classrooms, they're like, but you can't force Christianity on us. And it's like, what's wrong with saying, like, honor your father and mother, keep holy the Sabbath day? What's wrong with saying you shall not steal, you shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery? What's wrong with saying, like, hey, don't swear or use the Lord's name in vain? Like, there's really just, like, in this push for just, like, radical leftism and making it, like, a part of our culture, we've lost what it really means to be American, and decided that, like, oh, our ideals really don't matter if you believe this. Or, oh, who cares about Second Amendment? If you defend it, well, I guess you deserve to get shot. And that's another thing people are saying. It's like, I've seen so many people say this, where it's like, oh, well, Charlie defended the Second Amendment, so, well, too bad, he got shot. He defended the guns. It's just like, no, it's not the point. If you take guns away from people, they don't have self-defense. Only criminals will get them, right? And it's just like, so many conversations we've had over the past week, it's been a week since this happened, guys, have been so unproductive, and just, and people who actually call for unity are being framed as calling for violence, and it's just not where we want to be. And so, again, the two important things we need for unity are discussion and real solutions. Like, without discussion, we don't get anywhere. Differing ideas don't get worked through. And without solutions, we come back to a place as a country, one that exists without political violence, without hatred for different views, and with actual free expression. I know I kind of went on a rant and talked about a lot of things today, but I hope you picked up something from it. And this was the first episode. What's Up Wednesday?